Hey guys, Shannon here. Welcome back to my channel where I talk all things female entrepreneurship, financial management, and money mindset. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 4 money patterns that are keeping you broke, stuck, just not in a good place, but things that you can change today. So this is perfect if you have a coaching business, any type of business that's online. This is going to work for you. And if you feel like you've been doing the Facebook Lives, you've been putting out content, you've been really working on your sales game, and you feel like you have all of those pieces in your business working, but you're not seeing financial success. This is probably the one area you forgot to check and forgot to look in with or make sure it's right, or I don't know, something like that. But don't worry, in today's video, I'm going to help you and I'm going to talk about those 4 things that you can work on today in order to make more money in 2021. All right, guys, let's get into it. Your money pattern programming is anything that's installed in you around money. So it can come from your culture. It can come from beliefs that you were taught. It can come from your childhood. It can come from even trauma maybe you have around money. So that could be installed in you right now. And it's kind of dictating all of the reasons why you're not making money. And it's usually not conscious. We usually don't know that. We usually have no idea that that's happening. But those were the things that were happening to me that were stopping me from taking the action that will lead me to the results, because I had crappy thoughts around money. I was taking crappy action and I was getting crappy results. So let's get into the first pattern that you can uncover and that you can work on right now in order to make more money in your business. And the first one is you're worried about what others will think of you when you make a lot of money. Now, this one might come up for you because, if you think of rich people right now, do you have the best idea of them? Do you think rich people are generous, nice people? Do you think rich people are people you want to be friends with? Do you think rich people are just like you? Do they have qualities basically that you want to have? And if they don't, then that's typically a reason why you're not wanting to become rich and take the actions that will lead you to becoming rich. Because, well, who would want to be a douchebag, or who would want to be, that jerk who drives the Porsche? There are things that are stopping you from wanting to take the action that will then make you rich. Because who would want to become something that they despise, or who would want to become something that they don't really look up to or think is great? So the next time you are somewhere and you see a rich person, the first thing you can do is think like, I bet they worked really hard for their money, or someday I'm going to have an outfit just like theirs, or someday I'm going to have a car just like theirs, or I bet they put in a lot of time to get where they are today. I bet they were really smart about their money. So you can start saying those things when you see a rich person. Another thing we have to work on with this pattern is that we are worried about what our friends and family will think of us if we become rich. So what you can typically start to notice, and this is scientifically proven, is that the people you spend time with the most, your family and your friends, whoever you spend the most time with, right, have and make the same amount of income. Typically, you are within some type of income bracket that is the same. And that happens because, we all have similar things in common, whether it's place where we live. Obviously, your income is going to be the same if you all live in the same place. Or maybe it's that you went to the same college, you went to the same high school, right? So all of those things are what we find in common with friends. And then you stick with them throughout your life. And then you kind of have the same typical, income bracket from there. So what you want to do is you want to be aware that if you make more money, right, that no one is going to leave you if you make more money. Will other people get uncomfortable with you making more money? Hell yes, they will. And I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh no, your relationships will be fine when you make more money, because that is not the truth at all. Your relationships will change, but they'll change for the better, honestly. They'll really you'll figure out people, that want to see you succeed, or who want to cheer on your growth. Or maybe you'll just find like, hey, these friends that I have over here are great for this, and these friends over here I have are great for this. It's okay if your relationships will change if you become rich. But the thing is not stopping just because you think people won't like you, which a lot of the times isn't true. A majority of your family will still love you. Like a majority of them will still love you, want to be in your life and, want to be around you. So that fear is just, it's irrational. It's like a completely irrational fear that we all have. So making more money won't do better for anybody else. Think about it this way. It's all about rewiring thoughts and beliefs that we're having around money. So if our thought is, if I become rich, everyone will leave me, right? If that's the belief you have about money, you can think about, if I become rich, then I can hire a whole bunch of women. Or maybe it's, I can help this person out, or I can give back to that charity I've always wanted to give back to, or I can buy my kid, that thing that they want, or I can pay for college for my kid, or I can pay for my mom's medical bills, or I can pay for a new house for my parents, right? You have to think of ways that in order to make more money, what is actually the opposite? Like what actually is the positive of that coming true, instead of immediately going to the negative of it, and just keep switching that belief over and over and over again. So your homework for that is, one, find a rich person and give them a compliment in your head. You don't have to go up to them, but in your head. And if you want to give it to them too, I'm sure they'll take it in person. 2, think of all the positive things you're going to be able to do if you make a lot of money. So write out all the things that you're fearing around your family or your friends if you do make more money than them. And then write down all the things you'll be able to do if you do make more money. All right, so that was number 1. Now, let's get into number 2, pattern number 2. And I see this happening with almost every single one of my clients and students sometimes. Almost every single one. I'm going to say like 95% of my students and clients have this one. They want to make more money, but they're not even managing the money they have now, because they think, when I make more, that's when I'll manage my money. But budgeting money, that can never be further from the truth. The less money you have, the more you should be budgeting, because your resource of money is more scarce than when you have a lot of money. I can tell you this from experience. I started budgeting before my business took off. And then once I had this big explosive month in my business where I made $32,000, and the month before, a couple months before that, I made $13,000. I was able to budget that money properly instead of just letting it go somewhere, who knows where it could have gone to, because I was already budgeting my money. So looking at your money before you have a lot of it, looking at your money now, is even more important. But I see a lot of people get in this idea of, I don't need to budget my money because I don't have any money to budget, or I don't need to budget my money because it's so limiting. And it's like, no, budgeting your money is actually freedom. It is actually complete freedom, because then you're telling your money where you want it to go, and your money's not telling you where it wants it to go. All right. So if you want to make more money in your business, but you are not looking at your money daily, you're not budgeting your money, you are not going to create more money. And if you do as a fluke, then you might mismanage that money. All right. It's really important that when that big influx of money does come in, because now you're taking actions and you have a good money pattern programming, that you're able to budget that money in the way where you want it to go, not just it's being spent by your subconscious. Okay. Super important lesson here, guys. If you are not standing for something, you will fall for anything. The biggest lesson for money pattern number 3 about standing for something will make you more money. The biggest thing here is that if you don't have the thing that you're standing for, whether it's the message in your business or even it's for yourself, then you really are just going to fall into traps of, fear and doubt and worry, and really just all of those kinds of things that suck you in and that don't get you to the place where you want to be. And I can tell you why those things are happening. Like, it's when you're not standing for something, you maybe haven't discovered, what is the true mission and message of my business? What do I truly believe will work for people? And am I standing for that? Or am I hopping on to the new trends every single time? And I'm just trying to create something to keep up with social media trends. But like, what's your mission and what's your message, right? At Shannon DePalma Co., I know what makes female entrepreneurs wealthy is financial management and money mindset. And I believe that every woman should not have to be kept up at night because of money anxiety. And that is the mission and the message of my business. And it's what I stand for. When I didn't stand for anything in 2018, what would happen is I would get on sales calls with possible coaching clients. And when they were afraid of investing money, I had no way of either walking them through the fear or figuring out maybe this isn't a good time. I had no way to walk them through to any decision because I didn't stand for anything. So I was just kind of like, yeah, I guess if you want to, oh, you don't want to? Okay. And that would be the end of the discussion. But that's not the end of the discussion. That's just the beginning of the discussion where they're bringing their fears about money to the table. And that's when I can say, okay, let's make sure that this is a right decision for you. Is this fear or is this just not a good time for you? So instead I just fell all the time. And then if I saw someone else who was saying something about marketing should be this way and selling should be this way and money should be this way, I would just be like, yes, they're right. And yes, they're right. And yes, and I had nothing that I stood for. So I was just falling for anything. I had nothing that made me feel like this is my work. This is my mission. This is my message. This is what's important. And this is why I deserve to make money. All right. Okay. You need to have a group of people to talk about money with. Now, of course, money is this taboo thing. I hope it isn't taboo to you still. I'm guessing if you've been in the coaching world for a while, you probably are getting to see all right, we talk about money a lot here, right? I think there's also still another layer that we need to go in the coaching world, which is talking about profit and talking about debt. We talk a lot about our big sales months and our big income months, but a lot of times we don't get to see behind the scenes of what was the profit of that, or what was the debt of that, or, how much debt does your business carry? How much personal debt do you have? And how do I manage my money once I get a big influx? Or how do I manage my money when I'm not making any in my business? And that's why it's so important that you have a group of people that you talk with about money. 3 other women who were in a program with me, and we formed a mastermind, and we talked every single week, and sometimes we talked every single day. And we would just share videos with each other about what's going on with us. But we were all pretty open around our money situation, what was going on with our money and all these other things, and how much money we wanted to make and what we wanted to do with our money and what we wanted to be able to do in the next year, how we wanted to increase our revenue. And it was so refreshing and so nice just to have these group of people that were designated for this one thing. They were designated to be my soundboard for money and making more money. I didn't have to worry about trying to make my other friends be a sounding board for making more money and making them uncomfortable because they don't want to talk about making more money. Maybe they want to talk about how annoying our kids are today. That we know that we have a group of people that we can go to where it's safe to talk about money and all of the shame and guilt and fear that comes with money. We have a safe space to communicate our feelings around money. So those are the 4 money patterns that I worked through that were able to get me from being stuck at 3 months to $13,000 a month, to my first $32,000 a month, to my first $28,000 mastermind launch. And if I hadn't worked on those, I wouldn't have been able to take the action that I needed in order to grow my business. You feel like you're on social media, you're marketing, you're selling, but you are not seeing the financial results you want. It's probably because of your money pattern programming. So what it looked like for me when I was doing the actions, I was taking the actions, but I wasn't seeing the results was I was posting on social media, but I was afraid to say certain things because I didn't want to hurt people's feelings, or I was worried about what people would think of me. When I was on social media, I was selling programs, but I was never really selling them with a cart close date or sending them multiple cart closing emails. I was always scared to annoy people and worried what they will think of me if I send too many of those. I was focused on action a lot. I was focused on my to-do list. I was focused on action, but I never took the time to check in with myself. What am I thinking about money? What am I feeling about money? What am I believing about money and what's possible for me? What do I think will happen if I make a lot of money? Lot of questions that I needed to ask myself in order to rewire my money pattern programming. So if you want to hear the 44 other questions I asked myself, No, you do not have to do all of them. But this will really, really change the action that you're taking in your business, the rates that you're charging. Maybe it will help you pay off debt and save money because you will finally start to understand what you're thinking, feeling, and believing about money. I have a free 44-page journal down below, and it's called Unstuck Your Money Mindset. This will really, really help you start to uncover what is going on in your head about money. And I hope you grab it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. Again, I talk about all things around paying off debt, saving money, female entrepreneurship, starting a business. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.